somebody wanted me to ask you, with your creative process, we're going to change gears a little bit here. Would you say you have like a very set schedule? You're like, I make music from this time to this time every day, or is it variable? Do you go based on like when you're feeling inspired? Do you have big bursts where you're just like plowing through a bunch of music, and then you have kind of low periods where you're coasting off what you made? How do you approach it?
So it's kind of changed as my life and has like changed. When I was doing K theory, I was like doing music full time because like K theory was like supporting me. I was fortunate enough where I was making enough money with K theory to just pay for my lifestyle. And I was doing like 40 hours a week of like music production. I would get up around like I kind of get up at like around like 9 or 10 because I was like in my early 20s back then. So I would just like sleep in a lot and smoking a lot of weed and just being a 20-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I would get up what I thought was early, like at 10:30, and then start producing at 11 to like 7. And I would take like a lunch break and I just treat it like a job, essentially. Like it was my job. And I was able to do that because I was just able to do that. I had like another partner like helping me. So it made things a little easier. And, you know, it's still kind of tricky because like producing 8 hours a day is sometimes tricky. And like what that meant was if I wasn't feeling like making a song, like if I didn't have any ideas, then I'd just be organizing samples or like working on patches for like, well, I didn't use Serum back then, but just like other like synthesizers. Or if I didn't get inspired by that, I was just organizing my computer, like, you know, cleaning, like just doing something that like was adjacent to studio work. Nowadays, I'm a little bit more busy. My priorities have kind of shifted. I wouldn't say I'm doing Social Kit full time because there's like new projects I'm trying to work on. I've been studying C# and programming, and I really want to get into like game development, which is like kind of totally different than music production. But I just really want to make video games and like put my own music into video games because I don't know if I only know of one producer that is also a game developer. I forget the name of it. I think it's like, I forget the name, but I like see him on Twitter. He's making this really cool cyberpunk first-person shooter that looks sick using Unity. And Unity is like kind of like in the game development world, like their version of DAWs are called game engines. And Unity is probably the most popular. The most well-known for like normies is probably Unreal because like the big AAAs use Unreal. But Unity is a little bit easier on your computer. Like for Unreal, you need like a beast of a computer, and Unity is a little bit cheaper. So I've been studying that, and I also have like, you know, a wife and a kid. I've been doing that kind of stuff. So when it comes to social good music now, I kind of just work on it whenever I get a chance. Sometimes I'll stay up late and sacrifice sleep, and sometimes it kind of bites me in the ass because like when I wake up and I need to be on it like a dad, I'll be sleepy and will be a less effective dad, which is not cool because of my absolute top priority is being like a good family, like it's my family. So sometimes it's like, it's hard to justify like working on this music, but I like will carve out times as much as I can and use like really lean in on my experience. I've been producing for like maybe 20 years now. So I know how to do things really efficiently, really fast. And I don't make everything from scratch like I used to. Like what I used to do is I would like make everything from scratch just because I thought that was really cool and impressive. But like now I like lean into Splice a lot. I used to like make my own kick samples and my own snare samples and just would like make like all these glitch effects and whatnot, which is really fun and really cool. And like it makes your track sound really unique and like stand out way more. But that takes a lot of time. So like a lot of my newer tracks, like I'll like make my bass patches from scratch because I feel like that's the most like signature of like tracks is like the bass design. Like that's kind of like you know, it's, I guess you can say midtempo is not like bass music, but but like it could be bass music. And like the sound design is really important. So I'll focus in on like, you know, writing my own melodies, like my own patterns, note patterns, and my own basses. But when it comes to like swooshes and effects and like kick samples, I'll lean in Splice a lot, just because it makes it faster. And I like know what I want. I have like formulas of like how to get certain places. So when I am in the studio for like, I may only have like 3 hours, like a week sometimes, which is not that long. I'll like know exactly what I want and what to do. And that's just because I have priorities that supersede or not K theory, social kid now. If I were like, say, like I was 27 years old or 25, I didn't have a girlfriend or a wife or a kid, and my only responsibility was, say, like my day job that I would work at 40 hours a week, probably what I would do is, let's just pretend like I'm single, I'm living in my own apartment by myself, and I have like a 40-hour a week job that I work at 9 to 5 doing something. I would get up around 7 or 8, probably like go to the gym for like 30 minutes and then like take a shower, go to work. And then when I come home, I would like, make some food and then just like grind in the studio till like midnight. So say I get off of work at 5, I get home around 5:30, then I eat dinner and it's around 6. And then around 7, I get in the studio and then work in the studio till like midnight. And then like maybe watch a TV show, like one episode of a TV show till like 12:30 or 1, go to bed. And I would like stay on that for as like consistently as possible. I probably wouldn't hang out with any friends or go to any parties, and just maintain that for as long as I can. And then maybe Saturday and Sunday, I would like spend with either family, or if like a homie was in town, I'd get lunch with them. But I wouldn't do like when I was a teenager, I would like go spend like hours at a friend's house, like playing Dungeon. I was more of a nerd. I didn't like start smoking weed till I was older. I know that's like a thing, like play video games for like hours and like just like chill out. I wouldn't do that just because I would just do the music. That would be like the way I would do it. It's like do your day job, come home, eat dinner, do your music till like late at night, then chill out with like a book or TV. And then on Saturday and Sunday, like save those for free time, because you got to have balance. Doing like a music like every day, 5 days a week would be enough. And then balance it with Saturday hanging out with a homie, and maybe Sunday hanging out with family. Maybe Saturday being like just relaxed day. Maybe sometimes I'll just take a day off and just watch anime or something, go to a movie, and then Sunday, like, I don't know, call my mom or something like that.
Yeah. Something to keep you from help to stave off the burnout, something to like release the pressure a little bit.
That's what I would probably do if I was trying to have do the producer like grind.
Yeah.
I don't really do that now. Like I kind of have a schedule. I have like a part-time job right now. I'm also like in school studying C# and Unity. Like I said, and I kind of break my days up by doing that. Like in the morning, I get up really early at 6 a.m. Like go to the gym, work out for a bit, then take my son to school. And then when I get back, it's like around 8:30, I'll like work on like coding and Unity till like around 1, and then like take like a lunch break, hang out with like my wife, go pick up my son, and then just kind of hang out through dinner. And then like around 10:30 or 11, go into the studio and work on music. And then sometimes till like 3 a.m., only getting 3 hours of sleep, which is not good for your health.
No.
But I mean, there's only so many, like you got to make, it's not for everyone, honestly.
Yeah, you got to make time somewhere. And I mean, being a dad and being in school and having a job is like, it's a big workload.
Hold on 1 second.
No worries.
What was I saying?
We were talking about like how to fit your music into schedules.
So you got to be disciplined, and I'm not disciplined as much as I should be. Like what I'm going to do is like write out a schedule. Because I think like writing it out really helps you understand like how to attack like the goals you want. Like I have these, like I want to make a video game. That's a lot of work, and I don't even have the skill set. It's like saying if I want to like, produce an album without really knowing how to use like Ableton. So what would that look like? I want to produce an album. I don't know how to use Ableton. How do I do that? Well, I gotta first learn how to use Ableton. So I need to like either hire like a tutor or something like that, like make time for that. And then,
yeah, kind of like you got to like break it up into like each component and then attack them one at a time.
So that's essentially what I'm doing. I'm learning like how to program in C#. I'm learning Unity, which is like the software, the DAW for game designers. The programming language is like learning music theory, essentially, if we're doing like a producer, like analogy to game design. And so I'm learning that on top of like, I still want to do music, a social kid, because I want to put out like a track like once a month, because that's really good for the Spotify algorithm.
Definitely.
And luckily I have like a bunch of like tracks just like saved and stacked up, but I'm starting to run out. So like at some point I'm going to have to start producing again. I plan on actually like later tonight, like working on some new tracks, because I don't want to run out. I want to be able to like keep going monthly. That's something I would recommend to producers. Like if you can, try to release a track once a month. And if you don't have enough tracks, then just make a bunch of tracks, stack them. And then once you have like enough finished tracks in the bag, start scheduling out as far in advance, so you can like not worry about releasing tracks because they're just already set up, and then start producing and get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. The schedule's a little haphazard right now. I'm still kind of trying to find my way, just because I'm juggling so much, which is not the most effective. Like if I really wanted, I feel like Social Kid would be like way more successful if I was just focusing on that. And because like that's kind of just how reality works. Like if you focus on something, it's going to get successful much faster. And I love doing Social Kid, but it's kind of more of a hobby than like a career. I'm just really lucky and blessed that it's actually done like pretty damn well for like being like a hobby, honestly. Like I'm really thankful for all the opportunities. I'm sure like, being in K Theory and like, which was like a pretty successful group. And then I would like remix my own tracks as K Theory, and like that would kind of boost Social Kid. And then getting support by like Whipped Cream and Rez and some other DJs that would like play out my tracks like really helped. So that like has kind of made like this, it's kind of inspired me. Like, I know this is a hobby, but it's like, it's doing so well, I kind of want to put more into it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So with like Whipped Cream and Rez and Miha, I think, how did they just stumble across your tracks and somebody like sent you a video? They're like, dude, look, they're playing your tracks. Or did the artist actually hit you up? Did you promo your tracks to them?
So I think around 2017, 2018, Whipped Cream, I don't know how big she was. She was like much smaller. Like she's kind of huge right now. I don't know how that happened. Well, of course I know how that happened. She's really, she's like talented and has like put in the work and just grinds. And that's just what happens. Her brand is strong. Her music is strong. Her network is strong. Those three pillars, if you got them, you're going to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it happened. But she was way smaller, and she would message me from time to time on SoundCloud, like the homies. And she'd be like, hey, do you have any whips you can show me? I'd love to collab. I'd show her some whips. She's like, I don't know if I'm feeling this. Keep sending me stuff. Like she just really wanted to collab with me. I'd be down to collab with her. She's a little bit harder to reach nowadays because she's probably just so busy. But she recently sent me a message like, send me some demos so you have some, but then doesn't really get back to me. Probably not her fault, honestly. Like when you're that big, it's probably hard to get back to people because you're so busy.
Yeah. I
get like messages like constantly from time to time, and I'm nowhere near her size. So like, it must be like
overwhelming.
It must be crazy. So like, no shade to her, but like she would message me and she would show me some of her whips of stuff. I don't even know if she's released some of these tracks that she sent me. And I was like, oh, wow, this is really interesting. And like, she made like the Psytrance Big Room track. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And we would message. I never sent her transmissions, but like, then all of a sudden, like I start getting messages from people like, yo, Whipped Cream's playing at your track transmissions. I'm like, what? And she like played out at like every show. And then I went to go see her when I was living in San Francisco with my wife, who was my fiance at the time. And she played it out. And I was like, oh shit. Like she's really rinsing this track out.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know how. I think I released transmissions just on SoundCloud by myself. But then this other SoundCloud network called The Golden Search reached out to me and said, yo, I want to like put this track on my SoundCloud. Is that okay? Because it's really sick. I was like, sure. And then the Golden Search eventually turned into this label called Synesthesia, who I've released a lot of records with because I don't know, I really like Synesthesia. And they were like in hibernation for a little bit, but then they're kind of back now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is cool. So the Golden Search was like a big fan of transmissions, put that out. And that was like, I think I had like 3,000 followers at the time. So like not that many on SoundCloud. And then they had like, I don't know, some like over, like way over 10,000, like maybe like 40,000. They were like a kind of a bigger SoundCloud label. And that made Transmissions blow up. It had a download link. So maybe she saw it on that, because a lot of people probably saw it because it got like hella plays, like way more plays than I did. So maybe she saw it on that. As for Miha, I don't know, maybe the girl DJs are just like homies with each other. And like she picked it up because that's what she was playing too, was Transmissions. That's probably like my biggest track, which is funny because it's like, that's like a track I used before I learned how to use Serum. I was just like sampling hardware synthesizers with like because I was in Reason, and back then Reason couldn't use VSTs. So like to compete with other DAWs, what I would do is I would find like special sample packs that were of hardware synths, like this Virus. And so I would sample like sounds from hardware, play them with MIDI with samplers in my DAW to try to like, stand a chance against like all the Serum bros. And I guess like it worked out because Transmissions is still like my top playing track right now.
Yeah.
And that's like what a lot of DJs were playing. When it came to Rez, I don't know if Rez played Transmissions. The one that she's been playing out is my Taste of You remix. And the way that happened, I was following this producer called Makeshift, who's very underground. I think he only has like, I don't even think he has 1,000 followers, which is crazy. It's crazy to me how like some very talented producers will have like no followers. I don't get how that happens. But I think he had a track that was getting played out by Rez. It was like a remix he did, and it was so sick. I think it's like Relax or something like that. The one was like Relax.
Yeah, I know the one.
And I hit him up, was like, yo, dude, you are super talented. I bet we can get Rez to play it. We like had a plan, actually. We like planned out, like, we're going to have Rez play out this track we're going to do. And I wanted the remix Taste of You. And I thought Taste of You was perfect because it's a track that she probably wants to play out because it's like a really poppy track with like Dove Cameron, who is like this Disney Channel singer.
Is that where she's from?
I think she's from like the Disney Channel or something like that.
That makes sense.
She's pretty major, and like it's more poppy. And I'm sure she did it because like I'm guessing Rez is like more into instrumentals and underground like ravey stuff, but she did that because it still sounds cool, but it's like it will help blow up her profile, and it totally did, made her like even way bigger than she already was. But it doesn't really have a drop. And so we're thinking like we should like make it something that's really attractive for her to play at shows. And so we decided, okay, let's make this remix. I'll do drop 1, you do drop 2. It'll be like a really fair collaboration.
Yeah.
I think his drop is like way cooler than my drop, but and he says that like the opposite, like thinks that, but like fuck, his drop was so sick. I was like, fuck, man, maybe we should make this the first drop. But maybe it's even cooler. Like the second drop is better. I felt like, damn, like, does my drop even sound as good as his? Whatever. But like, once I got out of my own head and got out of my own way, we like finished the track, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do like my usual, like weird anime video things and post a clip on Instagram and Twitter. And then when I posted that, I think a day afterwards, Rez like sends me a DM, was like, yo, I really want to play that remix out. Can you send it to me? And I was like, shit, this is exactly what we wanted to happen.
Yeah, it's like exactly according to plan. One day.
Yeah, and this was before like we wanted to release on a Friday. We posted the teaser on Monday, and I think she messaged me on a Tuesday. So then I told Makeshift. He was so stoked. Was like, yes, send that shit to her. And so then I sent her a Dropbox link, and she has been playing it out. I don't know if she still plays it out. She didn't play it out at Lost Lands, but she's played it out at a lot of shows. And then I get like a copyright notification. So like the publishers aren't into it. Like whoever she like released it with, like probably a major label. I don't think she has anything to do with that, like the copyright strikes, because she seems more like down to earth and chill and just like wants everyone to like, as long as you're credited, like it's fine.
Yeah.
But publishers and whatnot, they want the money. And they're kind of running the game right now, unfortunately. But now Rez has her own label, so like now she can be the boss.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you going to try to release something on her label, if possible?
I sent her something. but I haven't gotten a reply back. Usually it's typically like good practice to wait 2 weeks and then send a follow-up email. It may have been 2 weeks. I'm not I have to check when I sent her that. I'll probably send her a follow-up email. If I don't hear back from her, I'll just release it on my own.
Okay.